In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a full in-depth tour and review of the brand new Land Rover Defender. This is one of the most highly anticipated models to debut in 2020, so I can't wait to show you all around the car in this full 360 tour. We're actually going to take a look at the exterior design and the unibody structure Land Rover has used with this Defender, as well as giving a bit of a technical analysis of what's under the hood and all the off-road technology they've packed into this thing. And then in the grand finale, we are finally going to hop into the driver's seat of this thing and check out the interior elements and design features, as well as some of the cool technology in there. All that and more is coming up in this full video, so definitely stick around till the very end. You do not want to miss a single detail on this fantastic new Defender. But hey, let's get right into the video. You can tell that Land Rover designed this Defender from the start with one goal in mind, and that's to make this car just as capable off-road as the old Defender was. And for that reason, they've given it a bunch of really unique and new off-road technologies and features that make it a fantastic performer on the road or off. It's actually based on a new unibody architecture, where the chassis encompasses the entire car. Not only does this make it safer and probably a little bit easier to produce, keeping costs lower, but it's also very rigid and great for off-roading. Plus, the body of the car has a short front and rear overhang to improve the approach angle and give it a kind of stubby, unique design to it. And to enhance the off-road stability of this car, they also offer 18-inch steel wheels on the base model for extra off-road durability. However, there's also 19, 20, and 22-inch styles available as well. In the front of the car, you'll find some classic, iconic Defender design elements, such as the LED headlamps, which are really reminiscent of the heritage styling, but they've been given a new modern touch to them with some nice gloss black outline. And this makes the front end of the car very distinct and unique out on the road. We've already mentioned the wheels, but behind those wheels you'll find a standard electronic air suspension system that can do a little bit to adjust the ride height of the car, which, by the way, gets roughly 8.5 inches of ground clearance. If you prefer more of an open-air experience, Land Rover also offers an available folding fabric roof, so it's similar to a convertible, just like the old Defender. And finally, the design is going to wrap off in the rear of the car with some standard LED taillights in a very unique, iconic square-shaped pattern, as well as a side-mounted tailgate where you'll find the spare tire mounted. All around, the Defender has a very square, kind of boxy design, which is ultra-practical and pretty retro as well. Plus, Land Rover actually offers it in two different styles. What we're looking at right here is the Defender 110, which is the four-door model that offers a little bit more interior cargo and passenger space. However, Land Rover is also offering the Defender 90, a two-door model that's a little bit smaller and probably easier to take off-road, but that hasn't hit dealerships yet. Now, as much as I love the exterior of the new Defender, what's under the hood is pretty important and an integral part of the car's performance as well. And what's really cool is that for 2020, Land Rover actually offers the Defender with two different engine options. In the base model, you'll be getting a standard 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with right around 300 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque, as well as a combined 18 mpg. Now, the Defender is a pretty heavy car at the end of the day, so with only 300 horsepower, you'll be getting 0 to 60 in just under 8 seconds, which is not very impressive. So that's why they also offer this, the upgraded 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine, which on the side, in addition to that, also has some mild hybrid technologies. And altogether, it should produce 395 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque, while also getting an even better fuel economy at a combined 19 mpg. So this engine definitely offers the better performance, although it is a little bit pricier. As standard, however, all Defenders are going to come with the same 8-speed automatic transmission, as well as the all-wheel drive system and a twin-speed transfer case. Now, with that all-wheel drive and the transmission and the twin-speed transfer case and all the off-road technology and powertrains that Land Rover has given the Defender, you should be able to tow around 8,201 pounds at a maximum capacity. Plus, you've also got a ton of space in the trunk, as we'll see now that we're going to hop into the interior. And what's really great is that the interior of the Defender is just as off-road capable and comes with just as unique of a design as the exterior does. But it's also got a lot of really cool new modern technologies and some more, functional and practical features in here that are gonna, at the end of the day, make it more livable as a daily driver and a family hauler if that's what you want it to be. Now we're going to start off with the basics in here, including some of the ergonomics and the materials used. These are things that you should really pay attention to in any car, and especially a car from a brand like Land Rover, where their main thing, in addition to being off-road capable, is also luxury these days. So when it comes to luxury, there is some standard soft leather materials wrapping this beautiful 4-spoke Defender steering wheel, as well as some soft leather wrapping this very uniquely shaped gear selector. Now, as I mentioned, this car has an 8-speed automatic transmission. They don't offer manual or anything like that these days, but I gotta say this does have a very nice design on the standard shift lever, and it does feel very soft and nice feeling in your hand. So there's good high quality materials all around the interior of the Defender, and it's laid out very nicely as well. There's plenty of space for everyone, all your passengers and all your cargo here in the larger size Defender 110 model. Plenty of room for the front seat passengers in terms of legroom and headroom. We're gonna hop back and check out the rear seats in a minute as well. Now, I also mentioned storage, and in terms of that, there is plenty. 2 very large cup holders here in the center console area, as well as a small storage area here underneath the center armrest, and also down below the center console, there's a little bit of a cavity where you could keep your purse or something like that. Now, in addition to all these spaces where you can store drinks and bags and things like that, there's also a few areas to store and even charge your phone. In fact, the Defender comes with plenty of USB charge ports and 12-volt power outlets for every row, even in the base Defender. And even more impressively, Land Rover also offers a standard wireless charge pad here on the center console underneath this armrest. So once the car is turned on, all you gotta do is put your phone right there on that pad. You don't have to mess around with a spaghetti mess of wires. It'll just do everything wirelessly and simply, which is a really nice thing to have in the Defender, simplicity. However, it is also important to note that you can option to have a third sort of jumper seat here in the front seat of the car if you want to bring an extra passenger along, or you need a little extra space for your arms, and that is actually going to remove this wireless charge pad if you option that feature. And now that we're on the subject of seats, I'll also mention that the driver's seat here is very comfortable. It's got kind of a nice sort of synthetic material all around it with some perforations for enhanced cooling. It also comes standard with 8-way partially electronic adjustments. So you can move it electronically in some directions, other ways you have to move it manually. However, they do offer a variety of upgrades, including more power adjustments and more movements, so you can get as comfortable as physically possible here in the front seat of your Defender. And speaking of comfort, you do not want to get antsy out on the trails. So in addition to having comfortable and reliable seats with durable, easy to clean material, they've also included a variety of grab handles all throughout the interior of the car. Up there on the dashboard, there's one prominently displayed in front of that Defender sign, and another little cargo area right there. And there's also some all around on all the doors on the interior trim of this model. Now, while we're looking at the doors, I'd also like to point out all the exposed screws in here. And this is actually a feature we see on other off-road capable models like Jeeps and things like that, where it is very easy to remove this interior door panel to keep it clean and safe when you want to take this car for some serious heavy-duty mudding, which is a really cool feature that, again, we don't often see in luxury cars like Land Rovers. So it's really cool that they're staying true to the heritage and the performance-oriented origins of the Defender model. However, in addition to being a hardcore off-roader, they've also included some more luxury and comfort features for the daily driver that it can also be, and that includes the technology. So up there on the dashboard in front of that massive grab handle, there is a standard 10-inch configurable infotainment display. Now this is a touchscreen, and it can show you navigation as well as allow you to adjust a variety of the drive modes in this car. Again, I mentioned on the extra of this car, it's got a ton of adjustable things to help with off-roading and difficult terrain. A lot of that is controlled here in the center display. And in addition to that display, there is another screen actually on the gauge cluster. There's a 12.3-inch digital driver display, which can show you things like the navigation, the car's media, the phone, and a variety of other important information. Now, the rear seats are pretty rugged and usable as well. It actually comes standard with some nice hard rubberized carpet mats here that are going to be very easy to clean. You just take them out of the car, hose them down, get all the mud off of them when you're done off-roading, and the same thing goes for the seats. It is a very durable material back here, in addition to being comfortable. And once again, we've got more grab handles, more exposed screws, more storage spaces. However, I'd also like to point out that these rear seats come with climate controls. You can actually get either dual or tri-zone automatic climate control here in the 2020 Defender, as well as a bunch of USB charge ports and 12-volt power outlets and electricity features here in the rear seat of the Defender, so that all of your passengers have equal access to charging for their phones. Now, in addition to all this tech and all this rugged, durable off-road things, there's also a lot of usable space back here. This model actually seats 5 in total, although again, you can option a 6th seat up there in the front. And there's also an optional 3rd row that can be added for just a few extra $1,000. And it's got plenty of legroom and headroom for everyone. This has got to be one of the most spacious SUV 2nd row seats I've been in recent years. It is just very usable and very livable. And this is really thanks to the very square-shaped, kind of cube-designed unibody design I was talking about on the exterior. It just makes it a really, really practical car, in addition to being cool and unique. I'd also like to point out one last really awesome feature here in the rear seats, which is that in addition to that wonderful panoramic roof up there on the front seats, there is also a pair of really odd shaped windows up on the roof in the rear seats. They're actually kind of off to the side, and they offer a little bit more lighting for the rear seat passengers, as well as a nice view of the sky. And this is a super unique element that I don't think I've ever seen in any car. But let's finish off this interior segment with a discussion of the cargo space, which is, again, a very practical feature of this Defender. It's got a ton of room back there for any and all cargo you might want to carry. If you don't want to hook up a trailer to the back, you can just carry a ton of stuff in that rear trunk. And as I said, it has a side hinge tailgate back there for extra usability and practicality. Hey, if you enjoyed this full review of the new Defender, definitely click on one of the videos on the screen right now to check out a similar review I've done of an alternative to this model. I'd also like to extend a huge shout out and special thank you to Jaguar Land Rover here in St. Petersburg, Florida for providing me with this model to review today. I'll actually leave a link to their inventory in the description below so you can buy this car for yourself.